Hello, hello, hello. I've taken my cup outside. Mind you, I've just been hosed down by the missus, so I'm nice and fresh from you. Nice and fresh. Bar of soap and the hose pipe. Work's a treat. It's coffee time, in which I look at the Daily Mail website and pass comment. No thought, no preparation. Apart from the few funnies I put in the folder. Don't forget, I'm going to do the YouTube thing. Don't forget to like this video. If you really must, you can subscribe, but there's really very little point. So yeah, this is interesting. I don't know if you know about this. There's a war going on. Could be World War III. But one of the key figures in this, not in the war, but in the whole Russian oligarch saga, because the oligarchs have all the money and have been filtering it back and in and out of Russia and around the world, dirty money laundered. Ooh. Roman Abramovich, owner of Chelsea. I don't know if is he still the owner, sanctioned owner of Chelsea. Well, there's a documentary coming out. And BBC have got this documentary coming out where, wow, they accuse him of being Putin's money man. Yeah, which is something we've all kind of known. This has been known for a while because Putin and Abramovich are very, very like that, and Abramovich apparently helped him form his early government when he first came to power. But yeah, steel firms he was involved in, makes tanks for Russia. Yeah, and this was on the BBC's Panorama last night. Meanwhile, he's on the run, and he's rocked up. I think he's rocked up in Israel. Meanwhile, his boat, the Solaris, he's got a couple of boats. The Solaris, the Eclipse, are just trying to keep out of the waters, out of European and British waters, just in case they get seized. So there you go. I spoke about this Homes for Ukraine scheme that was opened yesterday. At the last count, 93,000 people have registered to help Ukraine families, it's mothers and children, to settle over here, which I think is brilliant. Remember, there's a lot of people in this country that go, we're all racists, they voted for Brexit, all that narrative has been blown completely out of the water. Of course, those on the left think, I'm a lefty. So yeah, but you didn't do that for the Syrians. Well, I think there's actually a very, very interesting cultural switch here because with the Afghan and Syrian regimes, very few men stayed and fought, whereas with the Ukraine, the women and children are leaving and the men of serviceable age are staying and fighting. And I think that helps a lot because, it's women and children and those are the people we should be supporting. Yeah, an awful lot of people who come over on those dinghies are blokes with beards. Funny that. Nothing wrong with beards. No, never trust a man with a beard. But there you go. There you go. But no, it's heartening to see. But again, whether it's the right thing, whether there's the support going to be there, because some of these people are going to have been through bad things. I don't know. I think some people might be biting off a little bit more than they can chew. Who knows? Meanwhile, they're opening fire. Putin's forces are opening fire in the residential areas of Kiev and everything. There's tower blocks are up in flames. People killed, but they reckon experts reckon he's only got enough fight left in him for another fortnight's worth of attack. But how much of Ukraine will be left standing after those 14 days will remain to be seen. I don't think that's a good thing. But one of the big stories, and again, this is Marina Ovsyannikova. Come on, give me a chance. She was an editor of, I say was, because it's terrible to talk in the past tense, but she worked for the Kremlin-controlled Channel 1 TV station as an editor there. And during one of the broadcasts, she ran on with a banner saying, the war, and shout that the war is wrong and you're being lied to. She also posted a video statement up stating that she was deeply ashamed of being involved in all of this. Incredibly brave, because she's probably going to be jailed for, 10, 15 years for it. She's been arrested and nobody knows where she is at the moment, but wow. It takes a lot of guts to do that. Media news. Now, this is something I watched last night. There was a documentary on last night and Sunday night about Jeremy Kyle. Jeremy Kyle was a presenter in the UK. He's kind of like the British version of Jeremy Springer, whereas Jerry Springer was a lot of the people there. It was all acted out. It was all kind of scripted, the fights. Whereas over here, the Jeremy Kyle show, all the people that they got on really did kind of fight each other, and it culminated with, well, I counted at least 3 suicides, possibly 4 suicides involved with the program, and it got shut down in 2019. And there was this big double episode documentary about it last night, and it was one of the grubbiest things I've watched. And again, I wasn't a big fan of the Jeremy Kyle show. I never watched it. I watched it at the beginning when I thought it was like Jerry Springer, but then it came to my attention that the people were actually genuine, and I thought, well, no, this isn't good. And I'm surprised it took so long, to get kicked off the air, because it was a grubby little show, and Jeremy Kyle was a grubby little man. But now people are asking that he be kicked off his talk radio. Yeah, he's got a slot on talk radio. But he's going to make a statement because again, the inquest into the death of Steve Diamond, the guest on the show who committed suicide, again, a deeply troubled individual who should never have been put on television. He had many problems. His inquest is going. I don't think it's been heard yet. But it was just TV. It's all about the ratings. It's not a good thing. None of this stuff is. Trying to find some other. Oh, this is a good one. Politics news. This is the House of Lords. In the UK, we have like a second chamber where we put all our old people. And Lord Young of Norwood Green was sitting in on a discussion about genetic modification, and he went into pipe up, and they went, oh no, Baroness Bloomfield of Hinton Wardrist said, sit down, mate, because you were asleep. And apparently, there he is. He's in the land of Nod. There he is, and he's been banned. Mind you, it is 28 minutes past 9 of a night. So come on, it's noddy time. He is 79, but he's been banned from the House of Lords for falling asleep. Have you watched the debates in the House of Lords? It's a normal thing. It surely is. Meanwhile, Omicron subvariant BA.2 is just as contagious as measles. It's 40% more infectious than Omicron. What does it mean anymore? But we don't in the UK. We don't have COVID anymore. Everyone's just walking around doing it. No one's dropping like flies. We're still carrying on, aren't we? I don't know. Right, what else is this? Oh God, they're all pretty miserable. I think I'm going to jump to the funnies instead. Let's jump to the funnies. Oh, mind you, the Elizabeth line, which is one of the, or it's also known as Crossrail, is a big stretch of railway that runs from Shenfield in the east to, I think, goes out to Oxford via Heathrow. You can get, I reckon, you get to the centre of London to Heathrow in 30 minutes. It's an amazing feat of architecture, and it was meant to be opened in, I can't remember, wasn't it like a few years back, 2015 or something like that, 2018? I don't know. It was meant to open, but they reckon now it's been delayed, and the budget has gone skyrocketing it's 3 years late, and its budget has gone up billions, 4 billion. The budget's gone boomf, but it's going to open. It's going to open. They're not saying when. It's going to be soon, but not when. There you go. Meanwhile, health news. This is a serious one. This isn't a funny. There's a shortage of HRT, and it's hormone replacement therapy. There's a shortage of HRT drugs, and so women who are going through the menopause are going to go to the black market and buy the pills for upwards of 50 quid for a single bottle. I mean, normally, if you're on NHS prescriptions, that's £9.35. So yeah, there's a whole black market in HRT drugs because there's shortages. I blame Brexit. It's got to be Brexit, innit, that's done that. Nothing to do with pandemics and wars and everything else, but yeah, be that. Right, okay, I'm going for the funnies, everyone. I'm going into the funnies. Who wants to... Here we go. This is a good one. This is the story of Thomas Colucci. Hey, should we have a look at him? Here he is. He looks like a lovely fella. This is Thomas Colucci. Thomas Eugene Colucci, that's his full name. He was upset. So he decides to call the police with his grievance. He called the Hernando County Sheriff's Office on Friday around 7 p.m. and said, look, could they come over? Because he had a problem. He'd bought some drugs and he wanted to come and test them to make sure his crystal meth was actual that and not bath salts. So yeah, the police turned up. He handed over the bags. They tested it. They tested positive for meth, and they arrested him. And where is Hernando County Sheriff's Office based? All together now, Florida. Oh yeah, Florida. So yeah, he's having a nice rest inside now. Meanwhile, in Texas, deep in the heart of Texas, remember I showed you that school that did the crime scene. Well, Leon Springs Elementary in San Antonio, they went, hold our beer. We can beat that. We can upset the children and really mess up their minds even more. Yes. Fifth grade students at Leon Springs Elementary in San Antonio in January were given a class about segregation. Again, this is important. I guess it's an important historical lesson for Americans. You know, the whole racial segregations that went on in the 50s and 60s. Again, we didn't have that in the UK. So they was doing a story about all those horrible things. And they decided to separate the groups into dark-haired and fair-haired students first, to get an idea of what it felt like. And it was described as an immersive introduction. And the dark-haired students were told they were superior, and the youngsters who had blonde or red hair were deemed less intelligent and inferior. So you think, okay. They were given puzzles to solve, but the light-haired students had pieces missing. You think, okay, this is getting a bit, and again, the light-haired students had to clear up after everyone and do all the menial jobs. You're going, yeah, all right, okay, you're proving a point here. And then they were shown a documentary from Spike Lee. It's called Four Little Girls. It's a 1997 documentary. It's a very powerful one. I remember watching it. And it's about the 1963 bombing of an Alabama church by the Ku Klux Klan. And in it, it showed graphic photos of the autopsies of the girls, because again, this wasn't for their age group. And of course, this is where the experiment falls into, parents complaining and ringing in. So yeah, not a good choice of film, that. I mean, I'm sure there are other movies and other documentaries that they could have chosen. Remember, always make sure. I mean, we have it at our school because the teachers tend to use YouTube as a teaching aid now, but they don't always double check, or sometimes you can click into something that's not suitable. Meanwhile, this is the story of Jim Ferry. He's an animal control officer at Princeton Police Department in New Jersey. And March the 11th, he got called out to get. There was a report there was a parrot on the loose, and he went to the wooded area. He was looking around. He was looking around for the parrot, and he found it. And let's have a look at it. It was actually an ornamental parrot. It was a ceramic parrot. That was someone had perched in a tree, and local resident Tim Lynch had contacted his nephew, was a sergeant in the department, and they handed over. And Lynch told the local TV station, the two of us were walking back, not wanting to scare it away. As we got closer, we go, "Oh dear, we think it's dead," and we're 2 feet away. And as we were about to throw the net, we realised it was fake. So there you go, decorative ceramic parrot. And let's go over to Australia. Yeah, this is the branch of Scott Morrison's personnel department. These guys, they champion women's causes. It's called Women's Network, and they've got a new logo. And once you see the logo, you can't forget it. Why, Darren? Why? What is the logo? Well, it's cock and balls, isn't it? It's cock and balls. Look, Women's Network, cock and balls. I think that's a comment. I think it's actually a comment on the current trans debate myself. But anyway, I think we'll end it there. That was coffee time. Should we bother looking into the chat room? Let's have a look. Let's have a look if anybody's home. Is anybody lurking? Remember, like this video. Pegasus, how's my groove been? It's been moist. Wosley's in, and he's in Marrakesh apparently. Good for him. And he says, give him a water, forget COVID-19. There you go. So Paul's he's looking at all the boys in Marrakesh. Didn't they used to go to Marrakesh? Didn't all the homosexuals used to go to Marrakesh to take dope and pick up young lads? I'm not saying that's what Wosley's doing. I'm not saying that. He's probably slapping on the suntan oil and buying an expensive rug. But please like this video. We'll do this all again, and maybe tomorrow I'll forget to bring the cup with me. I took it outside. I like to keep tidy. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. I'm slowly killing the channel. Yesterday's one nobody watched, and I thought it was a good one. I did the Peppa Pig thing myself. You know, it's just the logo I thought was. Mwah. But anyway, thanks for watching. Ta-ra, and drink it up.